Steeped in history and beautiful scenery, Imola provides a fast and flowing layout on a narrow surface, creating quite the challenge. This is round 12 for SnB's F1 series, and it is going to be a fun race. 13 drivers are set to grid here, so I'm excited. We have RC in the booth. RC, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, and another great day for racing.
It is indeed. So, I know you know the challenges of this track. What are we going to see for that tonight, and where's it going to be at?
And the fact of that is going to be turn 18. It's a really sensitive spot on this track. If you drift off a little bit too much onto that curb, Frozen, you're going to get penalized. Unfortunately, even if a centimeter of your left side tires hit the curb coming out of that turn, it will get you penalized. So turn 18 is the biggest turn as far as penalty wise that we should be looking out for.
Fair enough. And the penalty part that I'm going to look at is where Z46 just was at in the chicane. That's going to be in turns 14 and 15. We saw him go off track for that, so that is another spot we need to watch tonight. But man, I'll tell you what, this is a very, very narrow track. It is fast. There are places to pass here, but I think these guys are going to get a little spread out. The times were relatively close in practice, which is great to see. And I'll give you those times. We had Mayer with a 1:14.9. Polish had a 1:15.5. Jacob had a 1:16.0. And Hokie Fan had a 1:16.2. So pretty close, but I'll tell you what, Mayer has some speed. I did not get to see a lot of Ferrari Nut, and he is leading the points with 221 over Mayor of Bag City, who has 167. See Skyline out right now. No one with a lap time just yet. Maddie, I see you guys out there. Snow Leopard, Evan, how you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. Dion still, he's coming out of pits here. J-Mac Attack out on track. I'm curious what we will see for qualifying here. Just over 14 minutes. Oh no, it's Shames. He's got a 1:19.9. He's going to be the only one with a lap time just yet, but great to see him out here.
Oh, this week is Imola, 32 laps tonight, 4.90 kilometers, or with a lap around this place, Frozen. 80 is the speed limit kilometers for the pit lane today. 24 seconds is the pit loss speed under green flag conditions. 20 for the virtual safety car and safety car. 19 turns, 10 to the left and 9 to the right, and of course the big one being turn 18 with penalties. And like Frozen says, turn 14 and 15 will be something else to watch out for. Chance of rain is low with 17% chance in the past. Frozen safety car at a 100% chance. Looking at the suggested strategies, our first one is at a medium tire start with a lap 1 to 15, and then going on to hards at 15 to 32 with the total time of 42:18.336 compared to the second recommended strategy that the game gives you of softs from lap 1 to lap 9, mediums from 9 to 20, and mediums again from 20 to 32 with a 42:31.955. As far as our times go, this is our second race to my recollection of being here at Imola, with Jacob setting the fastest qualifying time with a 1:16.598, and Ranger setting the fastest race time with 1:17.753. That is our stats for this race tonight.
That is quite a few stats there. And I'll tell you what, Rangers is not going to be here tonight. You guys will know him on here as Kerr. He is unable to show up. Maddie, I'm glad you're on vacation, and thank you so much for hanging out. Part of your vacation with us. That is awesome. Snow Leopard, I would love to know a fact. Evan, glad you are doing good. Seb Garda, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. We got J Mac Attack making his way on into pit lane here. Mayor of Bag City so far is going to be the fastest at a 1:15.008. Polish Hammer is going to have a 1:15.5. Ferrari Nut in third with a 1:15.6. Now, I've noticed a trend here. I've talked about this before, but it seems like the medium tire compound is the way to go for these tracks. Soft tires are getting destroyed too easily, and we're always going to see a driver or two go out on those tires. They change up their strategy a little bit from everyone else. So I'm curious how many we're going to see come out on soft tires. But I do want to say Polish Hammer, he is going to have his last race with us, I do believe, at Monaco next week. So super sad to see him go, but he's got previous commitment that he needs to attend to. So that will be definitely a race to remember for him. And he says he does not think he's going to do well at it. So this is his chance to get back on podium.
Speaking of, this was something that I've been thinking about all week. As a driver, I know that I need to get ready for Imola. But there's always that race just next week. And it's not just any week. It's the crown jewel of F1, the Streets of Monaco. It's the Daytona 500. It's the whatever you want to call it race for Formula One. Always having that win is always great. And we do it under the lights, so that makes it even more special. But for now, you have to keep your mind on this track because it can bite you. And like I referenced last week at the end of our event, it's probably the hardest event here. Imola can be very, very sensitive when it comes to track limits, Frozen, and we've seen that a lot last season too. So as much as you want to go to Monaco really badly or whatever, gotta focus on Imola throughout the week. And it can really be hard not to look forward to Monaco, of course, but gotta keep your eye and head in the game.
Absolutely. This is kind of a tricky track. You think it's going to be pretty easy, but with how narrow it is and the track limits, you do definitely have to watch out for it. We see these guys going through here, and you can just see exactly how narrow it is. Now, imagine racing with 13 others through this track, and you have that chicane in 14 and 15. You have turn 18 that RC was talking about. It can be a little deceiving on how easy or hard this track can be. Snow Leopard says, when I started listening to Simple Plan music, I realized this one thing. Their song, What's New, Scooby-Doo? Simple Plan is the one who sang that for the show. Oh, really? Stacka says, not thrilled about Imola after 1994. I know, yeah. Didn't they not race here for the longest time, RC? I'm pretty sure this is newly added in the past few years.
Yes, it's been a while since they went to this track, but just recently got back on it. And I haven't even really watched the real life race from Sunday, so I'm still trying to catch up. But I will say this, Frozen. This track is unique in one special way.
What's that?
You're going to have to say lap 1, turn 2.
Right.
Because turn 1 really doesn't exist on this track.
Right.
So this little right-hander, as soon as you pass the start-finish line, that is turn one, technically. So the left-hander right after that is turn 2. So if you can survive lap 1, turn 2, then you should be able to make it.
So true. Z46, he did have the fastest time at 1:14.8, but Ferrari Nut is going to blow that out of the water with a 1:14.3, top of the speed charts and qualifying. No surprise there. You know, he's so incredibly quick, and I did see Slurp sneak in, so absolutely fantastic. I can tell you, I'm pretty sure he has strep throat. So huge props for him to show up because we did not think he was going to be out here. So great to see him. I hope he's doing okay enough. And Evan, he says he got a win earlier in the league that he is due to start in pretty soon. So I hope you can get another one. It's great to see out here in the audience. He was a driver last season, and we definitely miss him this season, but great to see you out there. Couple of drivers in the 114s and about 3 drivers in the 115s. So times are starting to get a little closer and a little bit faster.
Frozen, I want to ask a racing question, not just to you, but to everybody watching. You mind if I do it?
Sure, go for it.
So, for everybody out there, I want to ask you a simple question. Do you want to see both or none of these? Should we do a mini F2 season, or should we also tack on some SnB rally racing? It's been on my mind for months, and I want to hear everyone's opinion. Should we do a little WRC game and do some SnB rally championships, or we want to do an F2 season? Either way, Frozen, the same company made both of these games, so either way we'll be doing Codemaster games.
That is true. I know we've been talking about it, kind of, putting around some ideas on what we can do in this off season. So we have a couple ideas floating around. We'll see if you guys have any ideas or you have a suggestion on which one. Let us know. Maddie says F2. To be honest, I think a lot of guys would like that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think at some point we should do some of the other games too, but I think F2 would be pretty cool to do.
I'm in the camp of both because I know WRC games, we can customize our own cars and just invent new tracks, period. I mean, they can just be so different in their own way. So and the WRC game can support up to 32 drivers.
How about that?
So, I mean, anybody with Xbox or even a PC can join us and, race some rally cars. So I'm in the camp of both.
All right, we have a caution in Sector 1 and 2. We're on board with J Mac Attack as he heads into the next corner here in Sector 1, heading into Sector 2. See how he does, but you can see just how narrow this is. There is not a lot of room for an error. So yeah, these guys are definitely going to have to watch it. I know a couple of drivers that were in practice saying they did 3 laps, and out of 3 of those, none of the lap time stuck just because they couldn't get a clean lap in and stay in the track limit. So that tells you how difficult it is to not get those warnings and get those lap times to stick. So they're doing a great job out here in qualifying. Times vary between 114, low 114 to a high 118 so far. And Slurp, I gotta remind you guys, he has won the previous 2 races. So I'm kind of curious. He is sick tonight. He is still out here, though. We were not expecting him, but he won at Vegas and he won at Belgium. Can he make it 3 in a row? What do you think, RC?
I think it's very possible. I mean, nothing can be never. And I think that'd be a great way to start off his first 3 races. Now the question is, can he keep it clean? I was over in David's stream earlier today saying, hey, if you can keep it within 9-second penalty, I think you can be able to finish in a great spot. So if he can keep it clean without any penalties and contesting here, we'll see what his lap is as he's going out on his out lap right now.
Yep.
What can he put on the board? What can he do to stay on the tails of our leaders? We'll find out. But until then, let's see what this out lap or this qualifying lap does, and then we'll see how he starts off the grid. Those will be the two things that will give us any details on how his race is going to go.
Williams drivers on the board sitting at second and third fastest, a 114.818 and an 832. So once Polish retires from the season, Slurp will be taking his spot on the William team. So that's going to help him out. Slurp also, after winning those previous two races, he is 8th in standings. And I apologize that I do not have those standing graphics. I was just given the points maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes before the race. So we'll get that next week, hopefully. But yeah, so incredibly close. And AlphaTauri leading the constructor standings with 221 points. Williams, he's got it opposite. Williams is in first with 231, and AlphaTauri in second with 221 points. So pretty wild to see how close the constructor standings are. Driver standings, there is quite the separation between first and second. Ferrari Nut with 221 and Mayor of Bag City in second with 167. Very close to Polish Hammer, 155. But again, he is retiring after next week. So we'll see how that goes.
I think it'll be his time to win that. But of course, Ferrari's going to have his issues. But I think Polish can win that thing out. As we got a caution, Mayor of Bag City, DNF's, I guess, car damage. I can't tell at this point, but he will no longer be able to run laps. He can stay in fourth and start fourth if none of those other cars jump him.
Maddie, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your vacation. She says, Polish, don't die. Evan saying good luck to Polish Hammer. He is third fastest at the moment. Z46, 114.7 improves that lap time just a 10th. So that's enough to put him in second, Polish in third. Slurp gonna come out of here, 114.9. That brings him up to P4. Ferrari Nut still holding out that pole position for now. See if he can hold on to that by the time this thing is over. Jacob in 6th, Justin in 7th, Pokey Fan in 8th so far, J Mac in 9th, 10th is going to be Skyland, JC in 11th, 12th is Sober David, 13th is Oh No It Shames, and Dion in 14th. Looks like a little bit of a rain coming in. I'm kind of curious. Are we going to see rain for the race? Interesting. Polish.
Possible. I did 3 simulations, Frozen, and one of them came down to full wet tire rain. So it wouldn't surprise me if Imola pulls out a wild card.
A lot of drivers, I will say, we're not looking forward to this race tonight. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. But, ooh, Slurp hard into the wall. I don't know if that was on purpose since qualifying is pretty much over. But man, oh man, you can see him stuck out there. Definitely not what you want to see. Good thing it is only qualifying and not the race. But yeah, some of these drivers still out, but Slurp is not one of them. We end on him with a broken tire. Hopefully that is not a repeat in the race. All right, RC Ferrari Nut will sit on the pole, 114.3. Z46 will be in second for Williams with a 114.7. His teammate Polish in third with a 114.8. And Slurp 74 is going to be in fourth. Mayor of Bag City is going to round out the top 5.
So we beat our qualifying time. Let's see if we can beat that race time. Set a new record. But, this upcoming week, Frozen, is, this weekend is going to be an amazing weekend for racing. F1, IndyCar, and NASCAR as 3 big events on the same day are happening. The Monaco Grand Prix is happening early in the morning. The Indy 500 is happening, and the Coca-Cola 600. So it's a special week. for any fan of those three series. So, and then we get to do Monaco on Wednesday. So, end it out with start the week with Monaco, end the week with Monaco. I like that.
What a weekend for racing. And I know Kyle Larson will be out there for not only the Indy 500, but also Charlotte. So pretty wild. That is a lot. But I'm not seeing rain, but I'll tell you what, it looks threatening for rain. Snow Leopard says, here's the definition of people not knowing how to drive. I was checking the mail. Right side. Tires pet the white line. Oh, that is no good. These guys are getting ready for their formation lap. Ferrari Nut. I'm kind of curious, will anyone be able to hunt him down and hopefully pass him? Z46.
One of my questions is
Yes?
can one of my questions is going to be, can we beat the real life record of lap record of a 1:15.484 by Lewis Hamilton? We'll find out. But
I think we can.
Ferrari definitely is going to be a story. The other two stories is going to be, can 46 fix his penalties, his self-inflicted wounds, and of course Slurp. I mean, two races, 2 wins.
Yeah.
Can he go for the three-peat? Imola's is a tough track. I don't know if this is his first go around at Imola or not. Don't know if he's done some simulations with other drivers, but this is going to be a tough one for him to get the 3.
All right. Well, Z told me that his race pace will not be as good as his qualifying. And I told him, you know what? I don't believe you at this point. He's very fast, but yes, I want to see a perfect race from him. He's got some of those hiccups where he gets those penalties and something kind of crazy happens with him. So I think if he can be good with that, he will have a really, really solid race. We know Slurp is fast. RC talked about it. He's won the last 2 races. However, he's got strep throat. He's not feeling good. So I'm not sure how much we're going to see from him tonight, considering we didn't think he was going to come and he showed up the last couple of minutes of qualifying. Sober David says the weather is overcast, but no rain expected. So good to see on that. I'm sure the drivers are happy about that for the most part. Still waiting on players,
rain
though.
at Monaco's about to happen.
You think? We're about to find out.
We'll have some rain at Monaco, so, that's going to equal it out.
All right, these guys are doing the formation lap, getting everything set to go. Do you need an invite?
Ho, what the world?
We'll get you another invite. All right, Ferrari Nut will lead us off to green. Z46, we'll see what kind of start he gets here, but as we mentioned earlier, it is not turn 1, lap 1 we are concerned about. Tonight, it is turn 2, lap 1 that we're gonna have to watch out for. Turn 1 is kind of like the kink that you see right next to that number 1 that signifies sector 1. So we'll see what they do with turn 2, how they go about that. But take a look at that tire warming up. Synchronized tire warming. Be cool to see.
Okay, well, that's a weird glitch as well.
Are you back in?
Yeah, I'm back in, but everyone's wearing my logo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wasn't that nice of them?
Yeah. I didn't know it was RC Appreciation Week or anything. Didn't know that.
All right, here they come around the bend, and we will get these guys gridded up in their box. Ferrari Nut will be first there. See all the rest of the guys, 14 drivers, ready to go green here at Imola.
This is another racetrack, Frozen, where I've noticed if you drive first person, it's hard to see the lights. When
It is,
I was
I'm
doing
looking.
Simulation, well, in simulation, when I was in first person, I was sitting there and I was looking at the lights because I don't have the digital lights. It was way off to the left, so it was hard to see. as we go lights out.
All right, here we go. Lights out for round 12 at Imola. These guys are already on a roll. You can see them as they move around. Man, oh man, 3 wide at some points. Let's take a look at Ferrari Nut. No problems, but here's where turn 2 comes into play. So far, these guys are looking to a solid start. Great job by these drivers as they're maneuvering through.
For the second turn for the first time. Now we just gotta do it 31 more times.
Right? That's the tricky part. It looks easy, but it is most certainly not easy, especially on this narrow track. And Ferrari Nut is almost to a second gap over second of Z46. You can see he's got quite the crew behind him. Slurp has made a pass over Polish Hammer, so he's going to be in third, Polish in fourth. Mayor of Bag City in fifth, and man, it looks a little congested back here. A long train, but that could change at any time as these guys try to go for position.
That big lead, that's going to matter a lot. But then again, can 46 get there, or can Slurp pass 46 to try to get there? I think that we may see a little future teammate happening here in the next few laps if 46 cannot get up to Ferrari.
Yeah, I think Slurp right now being pretty patient, but we might see him get up to that back bumper of Z and make it pass. But if he's gonna do it, I feel like he's got to do it soon. I mean, Ferrari Nut, he's at 1.2 gap between him and Z. That could increase pretty quickly, and already, just since I said that, 2/10 right there. So if he wants to make something happen, he's going to have to do it very soon.
That's where I love it to be already be F124, because we would already have DRS available. But unfortunately, it's 23, and we won't have that available. But already some good racing, but it's always happening in second, third, and fourth position. So hopefully these guys can kind of sort things out and try to hunt down that AlphaTauri of Ferrari Nut.
Absolutely. J&T rooting for Slurp, Polish, and Z. They are so fast out there. It's so fun.
That was not good for Slurp.
Ferrari Nut 117.9. DRS is enabled at this point. Slurp 0.3 behind. Ferrari Nut still 1.4, now 1.5 in front of Z. I know Ferrari Nut was not happy about last week and how that turned out. A lap 1 incident with a couple of drivers sent Ferrari Nut with damage and to the back. He had to make his way up through the field, and he showed his displeasure in an interview after the race. But definitely tough race last week for some of these drivers. Oh, a little bit of a tap. Slurp giving Z46 a little bit of a tap there. J&T, I can tell you, Slurp, he's got strep throat. We were really surprised that he is even here tonight. So, considering that, I don't know how much practice he has had. He is incredibly fast. Won the last 2 races, but I'm not sure that we can expect that caliber from him tonight. Here we go, Slurp going to the inside of Z46. Makes the pass as Ferrari Nut hits the fastest lap and goes to a 2.4 interval as Slurp is trying to make his way up to Ferrari Nut.
The only DRS is that front straightaway frozen. So that's the only place where that DRS will be used. So very important that you get up close to them. I know that my side is a little glitchy right now, apparently, because the game just loves me so much. But on my end, it looks like Ferrari kind of messed up a bit and is only 0.717 away from second place.
That is not a glitch. He did, in fact, do so, and that puts Slurp 0.8 behind. So this very well could turn into a 4-man battle for this lead out here, but they have a little bit of catching up to do and already lost it. Here we go. Back to a 1.2, and that happened rather quickly there.
Yeah, he had it, but I think it might have been some type of misshift or a lack of shift frozen that caused that issue, as we got our first penalty of the night.
J&T, we have 5 races left this season. Our next race will be at Monaco, and then we will head to Silverstone June 5th.
Frozen is this, that on the, let me double check, 31st, we get F124 coming out, so that's going to be a fun time for me. As soon as we're done with this season, I'm getting rid of F123, and I'm already be starting on the career mode of F124, but
everyone already preparing.
You got to. I mean, when the new game comes out, you know you're going to more than likely be able to race. You're going to have to get out there and start working on it, especially when new rules are applied and such of that nature. So go ahead, once that game goes out, even if you have the the $100 version and you got a week extra, go ahead, get out there and get some laps in. But for Mr. Slurp here, we got a 2-second gap from Ferrari.
Polish Hammer had a little bit of a fishtail back a couple of turns ago, but has since caught up. Did a great job. But man, these guys are on top of each other. We have Polish putting the pressure on Z, Z putting the pressure on Slurp, and Slurp 2.2 off of Ferrari net. These 3 drivers, they know each other, they race together, very, very competitive. They look really, really good out here. Mayor of Bag City, not too far behind, just 0.5 off of Polish, so he is right here in this battle. And then in 6th, we're going to have J Mac attack, and I see a little bit of a caution back there. Not sure if that has to do with Shames and Dion, but they are a little off pace from the rest of the pack.
I see J-Mac finally made the pass on Jacob, so he's up there in that 6th position, but quite a ways off from the top 5 there. But as we keep going through the field, Leaf Justin sitting in 8th, JC kind of started near the rear of the field, not JC like, but he's up there in 9th. He's got some positions he can make up in front of him. Skyland just has not been the season for him in that Ferrari. Mayor's been holding everything up in that camp, but man, it just has not been gone his way, and I feel for him. I do. I understand it. So hopefully he can get things back and around here. David, like I told him, I was like, hey, if you can keep it close within these cars and you keep within 9 seconds of penalties, I think you'll be able to get a great finish and maybe even points. He's sitting there in 11th right now, but still a lot of races to go. 3-second penalty for Jacob, as you know, as I just had to say it. Probably around turn 18 if I had to guess. No, going down into what turn was that? It was the it was going downhill. But anyway, Hokey, he's back there way far behind. Shames and Dion, of course, are our rear of the field. But the thing for me, Frozen, is going to be this. Turn 18, of course, how are you going to manage that? Because it is very sensitive in this game. And I hate seeing that. Okay, honestly, I just hate this track, period, because it's so sensitive in the game. Now, the other question is going to be, what's the strategies? What are you going to pull out of your bag of tricks? I think that everybody, well, I have to see the tires, but oh, gotta spin. Leaf Justin. He gets it turned back around. He's in the gravel. He'll drop down to 11th.
And tough break for him as he falls to 12th. Hokie fan going to take over 11th right there. But Z46, 0.4 off a slurp, and Polish gets a 3-second time penalty. Really unfortunate to see here, and I know he's hoping that he can get podium for this race tonight, but Z, he is really holding on to slurp right now. Ferrari Nut 4 seconds ahead of the remainder of the field. This guy is off and running. I don't know, unless there is a safety car that comes out. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch him tonight, RC.
It doesn't look like it unless a safety car comes out, and we know what happens when a safety car comes out when Ferrari's in the lead. So,
Ferrari's in the lead, but Z46 just took over second. Slurp falls to third. Great pass for Z right there, and these guys are still on top of each other, and Mayor of Bag City right on the heels along with Polish Hammer. So these drivers extremely close, just fighting for it all.
David and Skyland got together. That's their caution for turn 1.
Looks like they are still moving, so hopefully not a lot of damage for these drivers. But 46, he gets a 3-second time penalty. Both Williams drivers with a 3-second time penalty. That is only going to help Slurp out, but he has to remain penalty free. Ferrari Nut, I want to go on board with him. How is he driving this? Will he be in danger of a penalty himself? Most of these drivers are on medium tire compounds. Only 4 are on hards or 1 on soft. So yeah, it is definitely mostly medium tire compound out here tonight.
Saw the little unique front straightaway turn 19, turn 1 angle that Ferrari took. That's going to be the premier spot, as Ferrari just went off the track a little bit, touched the gravel, but he's back up and running. No big time loss there. Every inch of this track can either bite you or help you, and if you don't hit it perfectly on every single turn and straightaway, believe it or not, on this track, then it's not going to help you out in the long run. And as 4 of our drivers have found that out the hard way.
Slurp leading this second pack here. Z46 in third, and take a look at that line. I mean, they are just so incredibly close, but that line that they are taking around this track, just absolutely beautiful. I love looking at it, but Dion with a 3-second time penalty. Narrow track, I'm telling you, you guys have to watch out for track limits and where you're putting those tires at. It will sneak up on you. There is not a lot of room to maneuver around. So if you test those boundaries a little too much, you're going to find yourself with a 3-second or more penalty.
But my question is who's going to do some undercutting here, as both Williams drivers get past Slurp due to the lack of DRS for Slurp.
Yeah, they make their way on by. Z in second, Polish in third, but they do have those penalties. So far, a clean race. Lap 11 of 32. We're not even halfway there, but it is quickly approaching. These drivers have just been battling it out for the last 11 laps, so this is absolutely insane. Great racing, but it is allowing Ferrari Nut to put almost a 7.5 second gap over second place, and he just looks like he is doing phenomenal out there.
Shout out to JC, and he's out there with soft tire compound on, and due to my records and stats, that's a 8-second runoff on those tires, so that's going to add up a lot more than those other sets of tires. So he's going to end up having to come in soon, because 9 laps is the peak of those soft tires, so they're running pretty fast, as Skyline gets a 3-second penalty.
Guy gets a 3-second penalty, and he's got Sober David right behind him. Looked like he was trying to take a peek on the outside coming off that exit, but I I don't know if it was that or getting loose. He's still back about a second. Oh no, it's Shames in 13th and Dion in 14th. But these penalties definitely stacking up. The interval between Ferrari Nut and second has hit 8 seconds. Absolutely incredible. And Slurp still on top of Polish Hammer and Mayor of Bag City on top of Slurp there. J-Mac, he's going to be about 9.5 seconds back behind this top group here.
While the battle of Hokie and Leaf keeps continuing, Hokie was able to get past Leaf on the front stretch. So I will suggest that Leaf will get him back coming through the front stretch. So it's all going to be about Leaf staying right up on him and trying to get that DRS coming back down the straightaway.
Absolutely no mistakes here can be made. Otherwise, it is just going to hurt you in position. And as you were talking about tires, I am curious when we're going to see JC come in. I do believe he's going to come out. I mean, I would think he would come out on the hard tire compound. Slurp making another pass. Mayor of Bag City goes to third.
Ferrari went ahead and took a pit stop. He falls down to fifth. Fresh set of mediums.
Here we go. We'll see what he does. But man, he's got so much time. A great job for him. Much different than what we saw last week. I know he was unhappy about it, but we have no drivers on soft tires anymore. JC went in. He is on the hard tires just like I thought he was going to come out. So we'll see how he does. Can he make up some time here? But he falls to 12th right now.
It'll be interesting if Ferrari undercuts the entire field. I think that's going to be funny. But Slurp, 3-second penalty.
Yeah. Man, oh man, top two drivers with a penalty. Mayor clean so far. Then we have Polish with a penalty. Definitely going to hurt these guys in the long run. We'll see if they can keep that to a minimum as far as penalties go. But no surprise here. I mean, it is, like I said, so narrow, and there's no room for error. Mayor of Bag City going up to second. Slurp is going to fall to third.
6 have penalties, Frozen. This is going to be interesting when it comes down to the final lap.
Yeah, it's really going to shake things up unless that we get some sort of separation. Biggest separation is going to be J-Mac from Polish. That's about 10.5 seconds or more. But Jacob, he's out there with a 3-second time penalty. Ferrari Nut right on his heels. So we're going to see probably Ferrari Nut pass Jacob within the next few turns here. There we go. He's going to try to take that outside. There he is. Ooh, he spins. Contact between him and Jacob is going to spin it. And we see a repeat of last week. Unfortunately, middle of the race this week. You know he's not happy.
Oh, you know he's not happy. I couldn't get the full angle of it, so I couldn't see fully what happened, but
there's just
I would like to
not a
see
lot
that
of room.
Back.
Yeah. It was very, very close. I'm not sure if Jacob expected him to be down there so quickly, but yeah. Contact between the tires of the two, and now he's 7.5 back.
As a driver, for anyone who has not drove in either iRacing or any other category in multiplayer at all, as a driver, you want to blame the other person. Like, Frozen, you ran into me, when in fact, when it might have been you, or it just could have been the way the track is and everybody's getting tight, and
yeah,
it was just a racing accident. And unfortunately, for multiplayer video games, you also got to take in NAT code. So, just multiple reasons why I have to go back and look, see what type of accident that was. But just the multiple types of accidents for some of you who might not have played online multiplayer with other racers.
Yeah, you know, in the moment, you're very emotional as far as it happening, and you're upset, and you may blame somebody, but it is so hard to tell. unless you see the replay. Maybe you came down more than you thought. Maybe you came up more than you thought. But we have Slurp going into pit lane. There he goes. Mayor going to move up to second, and he is the only driver in the top 4 without a penalty. He's 1.3 behind Z, and you can see him up there. So I don't even know if they realize what happened to Ferrari Nut. If he spoke up over the radio, you know he's aware, but he is on a mission. A 117.6 fastest lap time so far, and he moves up to P4.
Also went in, so brand new hard tire compounds for those drivers, and well, Ferrari Nut somehow spun it, and he's sitting in 4th, so that's a good comeback there. But he's got 3-lap old medium tires. It's better than that 15-lap old tires of those 3 cars ahead of him, as Hokie Fan is another victim to the penalty bug today. We'll see how many more penalties are handed out by the end of this race, Frozen.
Yeah, our top 3 drivers have yet to go in. Ferrari Nut, that little incident did cost him about 7 seconds, so we'll see how he comes out on this. He's on D46, 6 seconds. We talked about this earlier on. He seems to be prone to mistakes, whether it be a penalty or strategy that got messed up, or even a setup that did not get put in on time. Something just always seems to follow him around, but obviously he's very quick here. He is on to pit lane. Mayor of Back City going to go to 1st. J-Mac in 2nd. Ferrari Nut moves up to 3rd. David, I see out there. What's up? Chloe, how you doing? I hope you guys are doing well. This race is getting very interesting. Ferrari Nut 2.4 behind J-Mac, but J-Mac 13 seconds behind our leader, Mayor of Bag City, who has not gone in yet, I think. Let me take a look.
Nope, 16-lap old tires.
Yeah.
He might just decide, you know what, pitting is not for me today. So we'll see how he goes on about that. Maybe he does come in, we'll find out. But more likely will not last forever on those hards. I know they're going to last. They last a long time, but he's been out on those tires since lap 1.
Slurp has left the session. Hopefully we can get him back in here. Man, wild race. We've seen so many different happenings.
Trying to make a pass on 2nd place.
Here we go. Ferrari Nut takes over. J-Mac attack in that 2nd spot. But now he has fallen back even a little more. 13.6. Now up to 10.7 as Mayor of Bag City is in pit lane. So that's going to put Ferrari Nut back to the lead. All right. So is Ferrari Nut going to be able to keep this lead? What do you think, RC?
He will be, and I know he's on 5-lap old tires. But it's going to make a bit of a difference compared to what the drivers around him are on, obviously, with J-Mac with 17 laps. But we'll see how this all plays out. He's got a 2-second lead on J-Mac as it is, so he's really went from pitting early to wrecking to being in the lead where he was before he even pitted, type of a situation. So I think he'll be good. The battle now is going to be 2nd on back.
I agree. Even with that incident, I don't think it hurt him that much. He's already back out to the front. He does have the 2nd oldest tires out here. J-Mac needs to go in still. The only one who has yet to go in, but Ferrari Nut of the newest tires, he has the oldest tires. Dion 3-second time penalty. So that is stacking up for him. Let's take a look at the penalties out there. 6 seconds for Z46, 9 seconds for Dion. Remainder of the drivers with a penalty, it is 3 seconds. J-Mac 4.4 behind Ferrari Nut there. Z46 sitting 3rd. He's got his teammate for Williams, Polish Hammer, sitting P4, 1.5 behind. And Slurp making a move over Mayor of Bag City. He's able to secure that P5.
7 drivers with penalties, and I don't think that it's going to...
I don't think it's over.
I don't think it's over. because we're on lap 19 of 32. Well, you've heard of miles per monster. Well, this is Imola, the monster of penalties, because that's exactly what this track is. How many drivers have less penalties than the others? So we'll see if he comes
gets
out
another
clean
one
compared to not clean.
D with 9 seconds of penalties on the board. Absolutely devastating for that podium finish. That is no longer in the picture as of right now. It is lap 20 of 32. But if the race were to end right here, he would not keep that now P2 spot. But Slurp 117.4. He is on a mission to get back up there. We saw him disconnect. He is connected once again, right ahead of Mayor of Bag City. We saw these two battling it out. Mayor looks like he's trying to make another spot and another attack on him, unable to make that happen before the corner. Man, tricky spots. We'll see what Mayor can do coming up here.
I want to give a quick shout out there to David. He's in a really good spot. The driver behind him, penalty. Driver ahead of him, penalty. But he needs to keep up with Hokie. He's a little bit off of him, but he's in a good spot right now. He's got to hope that a safety car comes out. As I'm about to say that, Skyland trying to make a move. Not going to happen this time. Coming down the stretch here. Skyland, can he get it?
Ooh, he does.
He got it through the turn.
He got him through the corner. Great move by Sky. Sober David going to be in that 11th spot. Skyland, he's in 10th, but he does have that 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile, Mayor and Slurp were battling it out once again. Mayor made that pass over Slurp, and Slurp's going to fall to 5th. Mayor of Bag City train in 4th.
Get on the DRS train, Frozen, because they're coming down the track. Couldn't get it done for Slurp on that turn.
Yeah.
Stick close to there just to try to get another shot.
We'll see him try to close that gap up, but Ferrari Nut 8.6 in front of Polish Hammer. The Ferrari Nut has no penalties. He has kept it extremely clean, and that is very, very hard to do here. Mayor of Bag City, same for him, so he's going to gain, as of right now, a spot on the board. We'll see what happens with that. A spot or two, I should say. Justin and David switching position right here. Sober David going to be in 12th, Justin and 11th. A lot of battles throughout the field, a lot more than I thought was going to happen, RC.
David almost about went side to side there, but he backed off at the last second. A lot of battles in the back of the field. I mean, we got our action up front, but these battles that David's been putting on has been very interesting the past few weeks that I've been watching. Something I'm going to keep an eye on for the rest of the season is see if David can crack that top 6 in the finish.
I think he can. I'm rooting him on. Man, really, really fun to see if that will happen, and I think it will. But right now, 1.5 behind Leave Justin. We'll see if he can't make his way back up there. But let me see what the closest battle is right now. It's going to be Z46 right on teammate Polish Hammer, 0.5 behind. So not too far behind, and then you're going to see... We're going to see another driver right up ahead of Polish Hammer. It's going to be extremely close.
Driver right ahead of Polish is a lap down car. That'd be Dion. So, of course, ghosted it out and goes straight through him like no one's business.
Again, I'm still going to say that's very distracting. That's what I'm going to say. I would rather be ghosted or unghosted. I want him to be solid. I want to race him.
You want to have to avoid those haha, I'm just in here to wreck people type of people, but we're not that way in essence.
True. Yeah. E46.2 behind. Very, very close. Take a look behind. We got Mayor of Bag City and Slurp on his heels. These guys have been back to back all the way since the start of the race. And then we have Sky, who is 0.3 behind Hokie Fan. And behind Skylin is going to be Leaf Justin, 0.5 back. D46, the most penalties tonight at 12 seconds. And Skylin is going to make a move over Hokie Fan. That is going to be for 9th place. Great pass on his end. Hokie Fan goes to 10th. We see Justin back there in 11th.
See turn of events. So we still got 2, 4, 6, 7 drivers in penalty. And the highest is what, 12 at this point? So still 23 to 32. It's not going to be the end of it. I think we're still going to have about 2, maybe 3 more drivers fall victim to their first penalty, Frozen. So I ain't holding everything up as we got Ferrari Nut going into the pits.
Wow. I'm a little surprised about that. Him coming back in. All right, we gotta see these tires. What do we see here?
Offs for Ferrari.
Okay. What do you think about this strategy? I'm want to know your thoughts.
Very bold. Honestly, I did feel comfortable, way more comfortable on the soft tires than I did on the medium tires throughout my simulations this week. So, not that far. Mayor, I told you at least one more driver is going to get claimed. Mayor was one of them.
Top
so
4 drivers with a penalty.
To deal with.
Yeah, Ferrari Nut is the only driver in the top 6 without a penalty, and Mayor's going to pass Z46, who's got 12 seconds in penalties. Just not a great night for penalties for him whatsoever, but Mayor moves up to 2nd here. Ferrari Nut 16 seconds behind. Again, still kind of shocked at his strategy here. I don't know if he's trying to make it interesting or if he needed to come in, but man, oh man, interesting strategy. 25 of 32, a little bit left. Anything can happen, but he's got 15.4 to make up to get to Slurp.
Definitely can make it. I'm wondering if the tires will just start to fall off. But in about 9 laps on this racetrack, the peak of the tires start to drop off there. So he should be good, especially with his speed, because I think he can make up a lot of this time in, well, no time. As I'm getting sure double checking, yes, Mayer's got the lead at this time.
Sure does, and Z46 keeps taking a peek right outside Polish Hammer to see if he can make a move. Unable to do so, he falls back just a little bit, gets in pretty aggressively, and we'll see if he's got that momentum coming out of the exit as they head down that straight there into the right-hander chicane. These guys have just been so incredibly close. I really want to see how this would shake out if we didn't see those penalties. 12 seconds for Z. That is absolutely devastating for his podium tonight.
Right here with all the drivers getting DRS right here, the 2 Williams and the Red Bull.
Oh, Slurp over Z.
Mayer got DRS off of the lap car of Chains. So that helped him out going down the straightaway.
Ferrari Nut fastest lap time, 1:16.1. So he is absolutely flying on those softs. Already brought that gap down to a 12.0, and it's still decreasing as far as him and Z46 goes. But man, oh man. Mayor of Bag City still leading this thing. A 1.5 gap over Polish Hammer. Can he hold on to it, though? There's a lot of passing happening behind him. Slurp, you can see him right there. So incredibly close. And if one of these drivers mess up, if Polish brakes too soon and the other drivers do not realize it, a huge stack up can occur. And Slurp, another penalty, 6 seconds. Man, oh man, oh man. You guys, let me know, who do you think is gonna win tonight? I gotta know. You got Ferrari Nut bringing out different strategies. You got penalties handed out like candy to a kid. It's just crazy.
we gotta find a good name for Imola's penalty monster. Someone in chat can think of one for me. We'll start calling it whatever the best one is in chat. But penalties handed out left, right, and center. And unfortunately, 12 seconds is still the maximum we've got. So that's going to shake up the standings a little bit. But Ferrari sitting in 5th. He's looking good. He's got 3 laps on them soft tires. So he's definitely going to make it to lap 32 at the
he's
peak
under
time.
8 seconds now. So definitely looking good. Slurp, he moved up to P2, 2.3 behind Mayor of Bag City, and Z46, 0.4 off of Polish Hammer. These guys are holding steady around each other, and then all of a sudden, you see one of them leapfrog their teammate or competitor, and they are off and running again. So Mayor of Bag City, he is looking for another win. He has not had as many wins as he had last season. He's had 2 wins this season so far.
Jacob got hit with a penalty there. Unfortunate for him.
6 seconds on the board for him. 4 drivers with 3 seconds. We have 2 drivers with 6, 1 with 12, and 1 with 9. These penalties are getting crazy.
Getting mad up and in here. Now the question becomes this. I know it's a big gap, and I'm thinking of this from David's point of view. Is he close enough to pass 46 at this point? Or 46 just got a big enough gap? I gotta check the gaps here first.
It's 4.1
I mean, that's pretty much
gap.
what we're talking about.
Yeah, Ferrari Nut, he's 4.1 behind Z46. Passing a lap car at the moment, but he does not have his sights on Z46 just yet, but he is 3.9 and still gaining lap 28 of 32. He's going to be able to see this car coming up quick, and there we go. He's got his eyes on 46 right now, 3.5 behind. Ah, man, that's crazy.
Just different types of strategies playing out. You think the longer strategy was going to take the longest, 2-stop strategy. Ferrari's making it look like it was the quickest and easiest out of the stop strategies. So kudos to him. He's going to get up here and he's going to get behind these 4 drivers who all have penalties and frozen. To be honest with you, if Mayer doesn't create a gap big time, he can win first place from 5th.
Yeah, he's got to hope that these guys hold him off just a little bit. I don't know, but he's got a 3-second time penalty. But as you said, the other guys, they have more besides Polish Hammer. So that's going to be an interesting finish for this. Ferrari not just under 2 seconds, and he has the most stops tonight at 2. Everyone else has only went in 1 time, and he's in 5th currently, right on the heels of Z46. You can see him right there, just closing that gap incredibly fast. I'm impressed, I gotta say. That's pretty wild.
Keeping it clean is one of the big stories for Ferrari, let alone the strategy he has taken. You got the top 4 with penalties, and then you got Ferrari, then you got Jacob with a penalty, then you got J-Mac, JC, Justin without penalties. You got Sky and then Hokey with penalties. David doesn't, Shames doesn't, and Dion does. So a lot of that's going to play out. The question is, who's going to get to the finish line in the position needed? As we got a pass.
Yeah.
J-Mac gets around the McLaren of Jacob.
J-Mac having a solid night. So far, Polish Hammer was right on the heels of Slurp. That has since grown as far as gap goes, but Ferrari Nut looks like he is getting ready to make a pass over Z46, and we'll see if he has time to do it before this Sector 3 turn comes up here shortly.
the hill as they passed the DRS detection zone, that little line when they were cut down the hill. So, very well.
There he goes.
I think it's pretty obvious that he will DRS. So here we go.
Oh, wasn't able to do it. He will go this time to the inside, heading into the corner. It's turn 1 right there, heading into turn 2. Great move by Ferrari Nut over Z46. I saw a split second of a caution right there, but we are still green. Ferrari Nut moves up to 4th, Z to 5th with that 12 seconds in penalties. That's not going to be enough for J-Mac to take that spot. So right now, he is safely in 5th, although I know he cannot be happy about it. Ferrari Nut, here we go. Takes the pass over Polish Hammer. Just picking them off one by one. Polish Hammer going to try to stick with him. I don't know if he's going to be able to hang, but Slurp is going to be next. He's got 2.2 seconds before he hits Slurp.
Just keeps freaking down. I don't think Mayer will be able to hold his lead forever, let alone gain that lead, so...
I don't know. We're heading into lap 32. We are officially the final lap. I think this is going to come down to the final couple of corners, possibly the start-finish line. Insane. Ferrari Nut, he is 1.6 behind Slurp. All Mayer can do is hope that Slurp somehow holds him off and they battle it out, but that is not what has been happening so far. Ferrari Nut has made a clean break for it, passing these guys. Dion, another 3-second time penalty. But Mayer, he's got to hope these guys stay behind, and he'll get his 3rd win of the season as he is getting ready to head into Sector 3 and the final part of this race here at Imola.
That's the leader gap. And it's a 4.2. Okay, it keeps bouncing up and down, but it's a 4-second gap between Mayer and Ferrari. He just
I think he's safe.
Needs to keep the hold of this, and he more than likely will.
2 more corners
gap
here.
Cut down to 3.8.
I think he's safe. He's got this.
Not enough.
Not enough. He's going to be the winner here tonight for round 12. Huge congratulations. 3rd win of the season. Now, can Slurp hold on to it? He's going to cross the line, but he has penalties, so Ferrari Nut is going to take that over. Polish gets 3rd podium, and he was hoping to do so. Slurp going to finish 4th with strep throat, and Z46 is going to round out the top 5 here. What a race.
Having a 3-second penalty.
Yeah. Man, oh man, the penalties came into play here. Mayor of Bag City back, seeing that victory once again. 3rd win of the season. His last win was way back at Qatar. So great to see him out here winning once again. I know he's got to be excited. So let's try to go get these guys in the party here.
It's going to make it interesting because if I remember correctly, Ferrari got the fastest lap, if I'm recalling correctly, Frozen. So that 2nd place and the extra point for setting the fastest lap.
Mayer gets that driver of the day too, so congratulations. I still need to get 2nd place in here, so let's try to get him in, but Mayor of Bag City, we'll see if he is in chat yet.
I just hopped in here.
Oh, you're on Discord. Yeah,
I am.
You surprised me. I'm like, I hear his voice, but I don't see him in the party. Mayor, we're seeing you win your 3rd race of the season here. Congratulations. Take us through. How did you get that done tonight? The battling was intense.
Yeah, I just my setup was a little bit more downforce heavy than the Williams and Slurp there, and so I knew that if I could stay in their DRS after lap 3, which is able to do, I'd have a huge advantage just like maintaining the pace on the hard till they're all mediums. And I knew when the overlap came, they'd have 2-lap-old hards compared to my brand new mediums, and I'd have that 2-lap advantage, which kind of balances out the wear rate to a degree for most of that run. So I just knew I had to take advantage of the first 8 to 10 laps on the mediums, which I did. Built a little gap. Got lucky. Ferrari wanted to have the fun strategy and got himself in too much traffic. Had a bad moment with another driver. Lost some time. And so once I saw that, I was like, all right, doors open. That's going to put him at a place where it'll be the last lap, if anything. I really shouldn't have had any warnings, or excuse me, a 3-second penalty, but just made a little mistake for that third warning. And then after that, I was like, I just hope that the gap had been enough. And it was. We'll take it by 7/10. I think my total Ferrari, the 3 wins I've got, I think is just like a net 1 second is what it feels like over the 3. So we will take it. That was a lot of fun. I love this track. This is like my favorite track. So I knew I would be podium fast, and I knew if one mistake happened to our best driver that I needed to be the one to capitalize on that, and I did just that. So I am through the moon. I low-key called it last week. They were messing around in the chat. I said, oh, Slurp's going to win. Oh, Z's going to win. I'm like, nah, I'm going to win this. And I'm really glad I went out and did. And it was a lot of fun again. I think this is a great, true racetrack. We definitely went heavy with the street circuits this year and the non-European sides, and I just love the Euro circuits. I'm not nearly as quick as Ferrari is on those, but I have a blast on them nonetheless. So I'm really happy with the result on that, and great for me finishing second overall in the series, which is what I'm going to really get gunning for. And it was cool to beat Z and to beat I forgot his name. I'm so juiced up. The new guy who's mad quick. Slurp, exactly. I was going to say Gulp. Slurp. He's mad quick, so I felt really good. Shout out to him and Z. Once they picked up their penalties and they kind of saw I was cleaner and quicker, very courteous driving, staying with Polish. So again, I love racing in this series, and I'm really happy to be back on the top seat of the top step of the podium.
Yeah, welcome back to Victory Lane. We were talking about your last win was at Qatar, so great to see you out here. I gotta ask, what was your favorite battle tonight? We saw so much of that tonight. So fun to watch. What was your favorite part?
Favorite part? That's a great question. It was when I passed Polish the last time. It was awesome. He saw me coming. I was trying to go inside, slammed the door shut for a minute, drifted back out wide. I was like, you could barely fit a sticky note between my nose and his rear wheel. And then I knew from just the whole race and him talking, I could outbrake him into any corner, and this was going to be the corner I had to do it if I wanted to get away. And if I don't make that pass, with, I don't know, 10-ish, 8-6 to go, whatever it was, I passed Polish for the lead. If I don't do that then, Ferrari wins the race. So that was my favorite one. He threw a great block. I stayed fighting up the inside. I maybe slammed the door on him the other side, but we're great with each other. I trust him with my life out there, as I trust Ferrari, as I trust Z, as I trust Jacob, as I trust Slurp. I think we've got a really good top 6 car. Of course, I trust him as well. So I knew that if I put my car in a place, he's going to let me not have it, but he's going to race me respectfully, and that's what he did. So I would say that pass I put on Polish near the in the second stint when I was on mediums, he was on hards. That would have been my favorite battle, because the way he blocked me early through the little bend at the end of the straightaway, and I was still able to get to his inside, outbrake him. That was my favorite part. But I had a blast just kind of trading DRS with the guys and just being up on them for most of the race. It was a blast. I love that track so much. So it was a really good time out there.
It was a blast to watch, and just a huge congratulations on your third win. Great to see. The battling was just insane. I loved it. So great job to you out there. All right, RC, we're going to bring it over to Ferrari Nut.
You qualified the fastest lap. You finished the race with the fastest lap. Unfortunately, just could not get there to make that 3-second penalty go into effect with Mayer. You had an incident. Just go through it with me. What was the whole mindset when you was setting up your entire strategy for this whole weekend? Because it was very special.
Well, the 2-stop is actually quicker around here, contrary to popular belief. I should have been 10 seconds further down the road there. I mean, I probably could have done that even without that, but it is actually quicker when you're running in clear air. So, not sure what Jacob was doing there. Just kind of turned in like I wasn't there. But should have been 10 seconds further down the road. But life imitates art. 7/10 of a second difference in real life last weekend, 7/10 of a difference tonight. from the real race to here. So can't say I
Another lap or two, you would have really got that first place. How did that car feel there on the last few laps?
it was fine. You know, I was on soft tires, so I chased them down 17 seconds in 9 laps. There was always an opportunity, but it just kind of needed people to not play reindeer games when I got to them, which they didn't, thankfully. Not too much anyway, but yeah, it's just frustrating to be that quick and have the strategy worked out and somebody who's not even in the conversation takes you out of it.
Well, you got second place points with the fastest lap, so all in all, a great day. Might not have finished first, but the next best place is as much as possible. So congratulations on the second place tonight. Looking forward to Monaco and what the Crown Jewel has to present to us.
Yeah, obviously Monaco's a great track. Fully expecting to come away with the win there. Just I go on autopilot when I go there, and it's subconscious at this point. I've been racing around this place for 20 years now. I don't have to think about where anything is. So, looking forward to next week. Tonight race, it's different. Being 2 races ahead can affords the opportunity to do some wacky stuff like I tried tonight, and on occasion it works out.
Always a great race to watch you go around the track, so good luck next week. And if I'm not mistaken, Frozen, you got a third place to interview.
I do. Polish Hammer getting on that podium tonight. We talked about it during the race that next week was supposed to be your last race, but you were talking to me saying that if you got on podium this week, you may not race next week. So I gotta ask, are we gonna see you next week on track?
Yeah, you'll see me next week. You'll see me next week. I've got one more race in me. Just go out there and try and not wreck it. Try and come home with one last podium.
Well, you did a fantastic job tonight. The battles, like I said, you were involved in those. They were intense. They were so fun to watch. I gotta ask, what was your favorite part of those battles?
Just the entire sequence with Slurp, Z, and Tim was just a phenomenal battle. I always see myself having good battles with those guys. You know, just fighting for every position, just staying in each other's DRS, swapping positions back and forth on the straightaways. You know, just I was a bit upset when I got that penalty because I don't think I necessarily deserved it, but I would have gotten it anyways later in the race, so it doesn't really matter. But you know, everyone knew coming into today that Imola was going to be the penalty track, and it delivered. So, but yeah, I'd say that that whole sequence in the first like 10-15 laps with me, Slurp, Z, and Mare was just phenomenal racing, clean racing.
All right, well, we saw your teammates start stacking up the penalties when you guys were racing around each other and you saw those penalties start to add up. What were you thinking at that point?
You know, as soon as I saw Tim get the penalty, I was like, it could be a race now. But once he passed me, like I was pretty much sitting still. I was like, okay, well, I am third place all day. Little bit of a hiccup on the second to last lap with Slurp. I was there. I don't know. Slurp says he gave me room. I just don't see how that's possible because I was as far left as I could possibly get. I know Slurp. I know he has his clean moments, but I also know that he has moments of being stupid. But you know, it is what it is. I wouldn't have. I don't think I would have beaten Ferrari anyways. So third place was kind of always where I was going to stay. Just a shame that you can race clean and not get race clean back.
Well, you heard it here. We have a couple of drivers not so happy about how their race went and the parts that didn't go as planned, but overall from the booth, it was a really, really fun race. Mayor getting that third one of the season, so a huge congratulations to him. Next week, Monaco. Everyone looking forward to it. So I'm excited to see it happen. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's going to be the same time, same day next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Time next Wednesday. Can't wait to see you guys out there. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Have a great night.